And welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we have a very delicious and rich breakfast food for you. This is an oatmeal, basically an oatmeal custard that also includes some chia, some cream, some eggs, a little bit of honey. Really, really excellent, delicious breakfast, and we're going to get started by showing you some ingredients. So we're going to be using just steel cut rolled oats, regular rolled oats, a couple of eggs. We're going to be sweetening this with a little bit of honey. You can also use maple syrup for this. Some butter. A little bit of milk or cream. We're going to use just a tiny bit of vanilla, some chia seeds, and then to finish it off, we've got some fresh fruit. We've got some strawberries and some Cape gooseberries, sometimes called golden berries as well. Really, really delicious. So, to start things off, we're going to put our oats and the chia together with just a little bit of water. And we just, a little dash of salt as well. And we're just going to put in enough water just to get everything soaked. We just want everything to be good and moist while we start things cooking. So we're putting this over a medium-high heat. We just want to get everything simmering before we get going. So this is not quite enough water, so we're going to actually add just a little bit more. We want to make sure everything is well covered in the water, just enough to bring it up to the simmer. Now this is going to help bloom the chia really quickly, and is going to help cook those oats just a little bit to basically par cook them before we start getting going. So you can see here most of the water has evaporated, things are getting a little bit warm, and the chia has already started to bloom in there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add our honey. And again, you can use brown sugar if you prefer. You can use maple syrup if you prefer. But now's the time to add it. You do need to sort of keep good care of it at this point because it's quite hot and you've added sugar, so you don't want anything to burn to the bottom of your pot. Now the reason we're adding the sweetening now is because it's easier to get it well combined at this point than after you add the milk. So once it's well combined and everything has come up to temperature, we're going to add our milk or cream. Now that's going to stop everything cooking for a little while because it's cold or room temperature, and we just want to stir that and make sure it's all well combined. If we had added the cream, if we had added the honey after the milk, it would sort of lump together and not be quite as nice. So do give it a good scrape. Make sure there's no sugar or sweetening stuck to the bottom of your pot. And you want to just give it a good stir, make sure everything's well combined, and get that milk well mixed in. Now with the addition of the chia, it's going to get quite quickly. It gets nice and thick really, really fast. So you just need to give it a good stir and make sure that you're scraping up off the bottom because you don't want anything stuck. So now we're going to add our eggs and butter. We're going to put the eggs in the same container we had the milk in previously, and it helps to have them in a separate container because it lets you check for bits of shell and that sort of thing. It also lets you add them together instead of one at a time, because once you've added them, you basically need to stir them in really quickly. We're also going to put just a tiny bit of vanilla in there, and we're going to add that in at the same time. So going back to our warm porridge here, our warm oatmeal, you can see it's quite warm. It's definitely at the simmer. It's bubbling just lightly. So we're going to give that a good stir. If the oats aren't quite cooked well enough for you yet, you can let them go for a little bit longer. But now we're going to add our cold butter. So you do want this to be pretty. As you can see here, the butter is pretty cold. It's good and solid. And what this is going to do is lower the temperature of everything in your pot really quickly. It's going to make a little bit of a cool area, and it's into that area we're going to add our eggs so that they don't scramble immediately. But you do want to get them sort of mixed in as quickly as you can. Really, really fast. Get them mixed in. And you can see because we had that sort of cool area and there's still some unmelted butter in there, the eggs didn't turn into scrambled eggs, which is what you don't want. You will see some little pieces of cooked egg white in there. That's fine, but really what you want to do is mix it in with the milk or cream and all that nice richness from the oats and the chia, and it really comes together into this really lovely custardy texture. Now we're going to top this off with a little bit of fresh fruit. You can also top it off with dried fruit or even frozen fruit, just to give it a little bit of zing at the end here. So we've got these nice gooseberries, Cape gooseberries, and this really large strawberry. And if you want to give your guests a nice sort of restaurant style experience, it's quite easy to take a nice big strawberry like that and give it a little fan out. And just add some fresh fruit in there, and that's fantastic. Whatever fresh fruit or dried fruit you decide you like in there is really what you're going to want to put. That's it's entirely up to you. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Really, really simple, quite delicious, really great rich breakfast sort of food. It will carry you through a great deal of activity in the morning. It's very hearty, very warming, and we hope you enjoy. If you did enjoy this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. And remember to love your food.